Good evening and welcome to the 2022 NCAA Beach Volleyball Selection Show. I'm your host, Will Haskett. While many of us are still longing for the warmth of summer, these athletes tonight have been burning up the sand all spring long to get ready for a run at next week's National Championship. The sport's explosive growth can now be seen really in this year's bracket. We have 16 teams who we will call names of tonight. First serve coming up this Wednesday in Gulf Shores, Alabama, with a double elimination bracket that will get us all the way down to a final duel on Sunday, May the 8th. The 16 teams now consist of 8 automatic qualifiers, while the selection committee has worked diligently all day today to award berths to 2 teams from the East and West regions, plus an additional 4 at-large selections. That means a few teams are on the edge of their seats right now, hoping that they will hear their name called tonight. And we will not delay the drama any longer as we get right to it, beginning with the top overall seed. Hitting the sand first in Alabama, no surprise, it belongs to Southern Cal. The reigning national champions don't look interested in giving up their crown again this season either. They beat UCLA for that national title last season and just took down their rivals in the Pac-12 championship for another trophy this year. Tina Gradina has been an all-tournament selection on Court 1 for 2 straight NCAA tournaments going all the way back to 2019, and the Olympian is headlining the roster again this season, this time partnering with Haley Harward. The quest for a 4th national title begins right now for the women of Troy. And that quest will begin against UT Martin, champions of the Ohio Valley. The Skyhawks made the championship match a year ago, but completed the journey this year in dominating fashion to get that Ohio Valley crown. They won all 3 of their matches. Kayla Carell and Addison Conley combined to be named tournament MVP and earn the program's first NCAA tournament appearance. All right, a couple of at-large berths to help those at home breathe a little bit easier. The 8th seed belonging to Florida Atlantic. Congratulations, first ever NCAA tournament appearance. They set a single season record for wins this year. Erica Brock and Mackenzie Morris, first-team All-Americans, closing in on 100 wins as a pair, the all-time winningest pair in school history. They also have depth on courts 2 and 3 as well, thanks to freshman standouts Marketa Slavizlova and Julie Hanzkovikova. They're from the Czech Republic. They've made an immediate impact this season for the team. They will open with Stanford, getting the nod as the 9 seed. The Cardinal earning back-to-back tournament trips in search of the first win in Gulf Shores after they went 0-2 at last year's tournament. Florida State is your 5 seed, one of just 3 programs to now make all 6 NCAA tournaments. The Seminoles return fresh off a 6th conference title, winning over TCU earlier today, thanks to the tournament MVP performance of Jordan Polo and Morgan Chacon. They were on Court 4. They actually avenged an earlier loss in the CCSA tournament to the Horned Frogs, and with Brooke Bauer and Maddie Anderson looking strong throughout on Court number 1, this is a team riding massive weekend confidence now into next week's NCAA tournament. But the Seminoles will start with Cal Poly. Congratulations to the champions of the Big West. The Mustangs were the 3 seed in that conference tournament, but looked the part of the top team, winning all 4 of its showdowns, including back-to-back 3-2 triumphs over Hawaii. The clinching point came from the top court, where Tia Mirich and Ella Connor combined to win the 3rd point on the board. It was 25-23 in the second set, an epic match that avenged a loss to the same Hawaii duo the day before. That type of turnaround and confidence in the lineup is what it will take for a deep run in Alabama. All right, what a season for our 4th seed. It belongs to Loyola Marymount. The Lions swept their way to a WCC title, dropping only 1 set on 5 courts en route to a championship appearance. That takes the Pride into the NCAA tournament for a 2nd straight year. And last year, in the program's first trip to the NCAA postseason, the Lions knocked off both LSU and UCLA to make it almost to the very end. They finished 3rd in that first appearance. And this is a team with the depth and experience to pull off an upset, including multiple victories this year over teams in the top 5 of the rankings. And they face a team hanging on to the 13th seed, but back in the field, Hawaii gets a nod. This will be the team's 5th NCAA appearance. 2021 was the only absence for the program, but they are back, advancing to Championship Sunday back in 2017 and 2018, finishing 3rd each year. The number 1 duo of Brooke Van Sickle and Kaylee Glagau are 27-8 on the season and likely to be selected as first-team All-Americans. They've got wins over pairs from UCLA, TCU, LMU, and LSU this year, and that will certainly help with a first-round matchup against the 4-seeded Lions. All right, to the second half of the bracket we go. 3 seed for tournament stalwart UCLA. The 2018 and 19 national champions have been in the championship finale for 3 straight tournaments, and while the Bruins couldn't topple USC last year or in this weekend's Pac-12 championship, they are the only team in the country to beat the Trojans this season, a 3-2 thriller back on March the 5th. The Bruins open with Stetson. The ASUN winners are in with a 3-0 victory over Florida Gulf Coast. It was the 6th league title in program history, and depth was a big key for the Hatters this year. They secured an early win on court 5 from Noelle Weintraub and Karen Zolnich-Serkova. They won in straight sets, 21-17, in both securing all tournament honors en route. They dropped just one set in 15 played throughout the tournament, and the Hatters have an all-conference strength at the top of the lineup as well, but that production throughout all 5 courts could be a big key here in the NCAA tournament. 3 matchups to go. It starts with 6th-seeded LSU, a 5th NCAA tournament berth for a program fresh off another deep run in the CCSA tournament, eventually falling to Florida State in the semifinals. They get a date with another at-large participant. Hello to Cal, the Golden Bears, tournament bound for the first time in program history. 3rd place at the Pac-12 championships. That solidified their spot in the field as an at-large team. And after dropping the opener to Arizona, Cal rattled off 3 wins in a row, including a big resume booster over rival Stanford. Ainsley Riddell and Ashley Delgado were named to the Pac-12 All-Tournament team after the duo went 3-0 with 2 unfinished matches on court 2. We got history made in the 7-10 matchup, Grand Canyon earning its first berth as well. The Lopes setting a program record for wins this season, including closing out the year with a perfect 4-0 record at the Stanford Invitational. And add it all up, and it's the first berth in NCAA tournament history for Grand Canyon. To face Georgia State, the inaugural champs of beach volleyball and Conference USA, the Panthers were the 3 seed and marched all the way to the title thanks largely to the depth on all courts. The duos on courts 3, 4, and 5 were all named to the all-tournament team. The Panthers returning to the tournament for the first time since the very first playing in this championship back in 2016. All right, our final matchup sees TCU earning the 2 seed a year after accomplishing a program first. They made the NCAA tournament for a first time a year ago. This is the season of more firsts for the Horned Frogs. They earned their first ever trip to the CCSA championship, but still unable to get over the hump after a 3-1 loss earlier today to Florida State. But despite that loss, TCU is in great position as it seeks its first win in the NCAA tournament. But they certainly won't be sneaking up on anybody with an impressive resume this year. Their only losses this season coming to Southern Cal and to Florida State. And the final team, Texas A&M Corpus Christi, rounds out the field, the Southland Conference champions, and they did it in the most dramatic of fashions, 3-2 over Houston Baptist. It came down to the final court where the deciding match was on court 3. Kylie Lewis and Migla Mazurkova-Saida dropped the first set 21-19, and after winning the second 21-13, all eyes were on their court for the final frame. The Islanders clutched out a 15-8 third to win their first title in program history. And there you have it, all 16 teams that will hit the sand this coming week in pursuit of a national championship. The double elimination bracket will have action starting at 9 a.m. on Wednesday with a recovery day on Thursday before we start eliminating teams on Friday. We will play through the weekend until a champion is crowned on Sunday afternoon. You do not want to miss the action, so be sure to get yourself to Gulf Place in Gulf Shores, Alabama, or watch all the action across the ESPN family of networks. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I'm Will Haskett. Congratulations and best of luck to all the student athletes competing in this year's championship.
There's an energy swelling out beyond the limits of your expectations. A universe where fandom reigns supreme. Once you're in it, it changes you. Instead of one of one, you're one of many. A blissful sea of chaos. Go beyond your limits and enter the NCAA universe. Get your seats today at ncaa.com/tickets.